Hi friends, we are back with a new zine called Funny Sounds. So this zine, I wrote a stream of consciousness poem. I love doing that. It's one of my favorite ways to, generate content for a zine. Okay, generate sounds very like AI. It's not AI. I use my brain and I put pen to paper. And I typed it up and decided to print on this very old paper. This is paper from my dad's business when he used to write out his invoices for his customers. He was a mechanic. When I packed up the home, I kept a stash of these papers. I kept a lot of sort of paper type stuff because I am that person and I will use it for something. Today I'm using this paper to print this poem that I wrote. It is a poem obviously about my grief, grief that comes in waves, and the best way that I know how to sit with my grief and when those waves come is to create something. So the poem that I wrote is, I don't know, I guess it doesn't follow any sort of specific poetry structure. It's a bit of stream of consciousness. There are some parts where it does sound or feel like a poem. So what I love to do is I love to read my poems out loud because I think that's actually where I get a feel for my own writing. So I guess it's a spoken word, and maybe I'll perform this or share this poem at a poetry open mic or something. Although in this zine I do have some typos. I found quite a few typos and I will probably just edit it in this version, just scratch out and rewrite. And so because I'm committed to doing a lot of zines this month and experimenting with different ways of making zines, I whipped out this lovely little mini sewing machine that I bought a little while ago. I don't use it as often as I want to, simply because sewing is hard. Like setting up a machine is annoying. Working with thread, being particular is not one of my super strengths. I love a scrappy, unkept sort of vibe. And sewing feels like one of those skills where you kind of need to measure and be precise. And yeah, I feel like it's a practice of patience and something that I need to, practice a bit because I do want to sew. I actually want to sew my own clothes. But I did buy this machine for paper stuff. And I've done a few little projects to play and experiment, but this one I thought, let's see. So I'm using this machine to basically bind my zine. Just a simple stitch down the middle. It's not a lot of papers, it's not thick, so it worked pretty well. I am just sewing a little border around the edge, just to get that sewing feel coming through more in a more obvious way. And I kept the tassels because I don't see why I need to cut it off, and I also don't know how to hide the start and the end of sewing. So for the cover, I also didn't really have any direction for this. I just used black cardboard. And I realized I don't know how I'm going to put something on it because I can't print on black. Yeah, I guess I'm just using it as a sort of continuation of what's on the inside of the zine. Love a label maker. I love a label maker. I will put a label on almost all of my creations. Not all the time, but I do love a label maker. Just adding a little sticker to the back of the zine. Also, these zines are just once-off zines that I'm making. It's really about experimentation and playing. So these ones, obviously, I don't trade. I will see maybe if I make photocopies of it and see what it looks like. Actually, I think I'm going to do that. This is the zine. This is my poem. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.